If Milton Friedman were alive today to celebrate his 101st birthday, what words of wisdom might he impart? I ask his protege and now Chapman Law School Dean, Tom Campbell. So let's talk a little bit about Milton Friedman. He was your faculty advisor, if I'm not mistaken, at the University of Chicago.
That's right.
If Milton Friedman were still alive today, he would turn 101 this year. What would he say about the economy? What advice might he give our Governor Jerry Brown in California, and what advice might he give to President Obama?
He would say, trust the people. He'd say freedom is the greatest gift the American civilization has given to the world. In its long and varied history, no country has ever been more free, and we are risking it. That's what he'd say. He would say we're risking it in healthcare, as we have a move, in my judgment, almost inevitably towards single payer, as fewer insurance companies participate in exchanges, and as the government's subsidy is the only available route. We see it with the expansion in the Clean Air Act to cover global warming gases, CO2. Every producer of CO2 is now subject to government regulation. We see it in Dodd-Frank, the most expansive financial regulatory piece of legislation and administrative regulation ever passed by any Congress, and the creation of unaccountable agencies like the Financial Consumer Agency, whose head was appointed during a recess, and whose funding is not from Congress. The result, unaccountability. He would be worried that finance, healthcare, and manufacturing are overregulated as never before. And he wouldn't object so much to those people who say we need to take care of the poor or the needy or keep our environment clean. He would argue persuasively, as always, that individuals, under the incentives of freedom in a marketplace that allows them to excel, would do a much better job than the best intended, most brilliant products of our great universities who think they know best when they get elected to office.
Reflecting on his legacy, what do you think his single most important contribution to American life or global life would have been?
Stepping down from the role of advisor to President Nixon when President Nixon imposed wage and price controls. He put his own reputation and prestige forward at a time when it was not popular. He was and perceived to be more friendly on one side of the aisle than the other, and yet he publicly broke with President Richard Nixon, because President Richard Nixon, with that awful statement, in a way we are all Keynesians now, violated the fundamental principles of the free market. I think that was a great lesson forever. When I became a congressman, I was still happy in the, I am still happy, but I was happily in the position where I could still speak to Milton Friedman. He passed away after I left office. And I would talk to him from time to time. And it was my privilege to get advice. And freedom was what he emphasized. Don't jump to the conclusion that because the outcome is good, the means are good. The means are hugely important.
What was your fondest Milton or Rose Friedman memory?
Oh, probably the last time I saw him. I was appearing at an event in San Francisco, and we were discussing the budget. He and I served on Governor Schwarzenegger's Council of Economic Advisors, and then I was appointed finance director for the state of California. But I saw him at an event following that, discussing the budget, and he said to me, don't ever stop giving your help, your advice in the public sphere. He says that's what you were meant for. Goodness sakes, that was pretty...
That's a good endorsement if you can get it. Well, thanks very much, Tom, for taking the time.
Nice to be with you, Brian.